Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast. Before we start the episode, I just want to let you know a little bit of nerdy news going on right now. And that is actually, I'm going to be a guest on John Negroni's podcast, Now Conspiring. You may know the name. He is actually the author of The Pixar Theory, and we had him on our show. And I'm going to be joining him for this week's episode. So please go to iTunes, go to Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you're listening to us. Find Now Conspiring. Go subscribe. It's a great show with fantastic people. I have no idea how I got invited on. I don't think they know what they got themselves into. And now, on with the show. Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show where we break down what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Millen, joined, of course, by Brian Thornton and Joshua Burns. Back for this week. We missed you.
Oh, I missed you boys too, but I had a wonderful vacation. So I missed you in the way that I missed the nerdy stuff, but time with family, it's wonderful.
I got to help you pick a movie.
That's true. That's a true
really
story.
Accomplished.
Yeah,
Were you happy with that choice?
Brian contributed to my vacation experience.
Aw.
Pretty glorious.
I didn't get a phone call asking about movie choices.
It was a text.
It was a text.
It was in the group chat.
And you ignored it.
You did.
But I rose to the call.
Brian did. He answered the call.
So we got a lot of things going on right now in the nerdy world that I'm really excited to bring up. The first thing is that there's an elephant in the room that we're just going to quickly address.
It's an exploding elephant.
It is. Samsung.
I was told not to mention the elephant in the room.
It's an elephant what explodes.
Samsung is issuing a worldwide recall of the Samsung Galaxy Note. Holy crap.
All I've heard since August 16th or whenever this phone released was basically how my phone's a giant piece of shit and how the iPhone is behind and how the Note 7 is so much better. And look, you can open it with your eyes. I've held it. It seems like a cool phone. It's great. But then it kills people. So there's
blowing
that.
up.
And I said,
when someone says blow up my phone, they really don't mean like consume with fire.
I sent it to my friend. When I first saw it hit the internet, I'm like, these phones are exploding. What are you gonna do with that? And her rationale was, it's only like 1 in 42,000, so it's really like playing the lottery. And I said, lady, if the lottery odds of hitting were 1 in 42,000, we'd all be rich.
Yep.
You need to realize how ridiculous that sounds.
So this is a huge deal. The fact that a company this big is recalling one of their flagship phones back is pretty.
The flagship phone.
Phone. Right now, the flagship phone.
Top
You're right.
end.
You're right. This is the highest end.
You know what this
phone
was?
you can buy at Samsung.
This was Skynet making their first move.
Self-actualizing.
They're learning people's eyes, and they're like, Superman has the ability to shoot fire out of his eyes. Let's do the same thing.
I don't like the way this guy's looking at me right now.
Yeah, they're just
I better
exploding
blow
people.
up.
Boom.
It's beginning of the end.
Or this is actually a new feature of Snapchat that will take your snaps and make sure that they are gone forever, for real this time, by destroying the other person's phone.
There are a few people that I would not mind that happening to.
So this is crazy, and then it comes on the heels of the fact that if next week on September 7th, not at 7, which I was very disappointed, the iPhone 7, we think, maybe, we don't know what's going to be called, is going to be coming out. So the next iPhone's coming out. It's just right on the heels of that.
I did just have someone send me a calendar invite for a meeting, CJ, on September 9th at 9 a.m. I kid you not.
The 9th at 9.
Yeah. 9 at 9. 9.
I was saying, are you unable to attend and reply 9?
I wish. I figured you'd enjoy that since you're 7.
Mine's because of Bruce Almighty, but I'll just now take anything that has that kind of time sequence to it.
No, I get it.
So I just thought it would be interesting to bring that up. There's a lot of people who do like Android devices who, just like you said, Josh, have been really going, this phone's so much better than your phone. Right. And at least my phone doesn't blow up.
I don't wish ill on anyone. I don't want anyone to be harmed. I just want people to shut up about how great this phone is.
Yeah, listen,
it's exploding.
My phone may bend, but doesn't catch fire. That's all that matters. So now we're going to move on to my favorite part of this show, which will now be forever a running part of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for
Cape Talk.
So, Brian, I figured you would be the perfect person to share the joy that we have heard some rumors from, actually not rumors, confirmed things now from the Batman movie.
This is tweeted by Ben Affleck.
Yeah, by Batfleck himself.
Batfleck.
So, Ben Affleck, Batfleck, tweeted this week, or maybe late last week, just some test footage of a very well-known DC villain who is to appear in the Justice League movie, who we don't know what his role is, but he tweeted a video of Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Which was pretty freaking cool. He looked awesome.
Looked awesome. Looked exactly right, didn't he?
Yeah, looked exactly like everything that I wanted him to be. I'm looking forward to it. Deathstroke is an awesome character, and it means we're probably going to have a sword fight between him and Batman, which is going to be awesome.
Do we know who is going to play him?
No.
I am so glad you asked that. No.
Right. No. It's
know
enough
nothing.
that we see him there. Like we're not going to need to know who's under there. Not yet.
I mean, I'd like to know who's under there.
It's Aaron Paul.
Everything's Aaron Paul.
Well, Ghost Rider's tied up right now on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so...
He didn't make it. He didn't make it. He was open.
He's got something to do on his hands. It is true. Okay.
Aaron Paul, Deathstroke.
I see what it is.
I'm super excited, and the costume looks awesome. The costume looks badass, and like it could take a beating, and yeah. So I don't know what else you want me to say about this.
This looks like this is confirming what we already believe that.
But that was
Batman,
the Justice League movie, right?
They've confirmed he's gonna appear in Justice League.
Then my apologies for
My question then is, who are we gonna see in a solo movie?
In Batman solo movie?
Because that follows Justice League, doesn't it?
It does. Last thing I read about the villain in Batman's solo movie was that it's gonna take place in Arkham Asylum, so there's going to be multiple villains.
Joker.
At least all
among
of the
others.
villains will be in the Batman movie.
If
That's
they
what I read.
if they make a live action version of Arkham Asylum, or even just a portion of that, I will buy a ticket right now.
My pants are glowing red just thinking about it.
Do you think it's anything like Blackgate? They'll make it anything like Blackgate?
Well, Blackgate exists in the DC universe, but like Blackgate is where the hardened criminals go, and Arkham Asylum is where the psychos
crazies go.
Yeah.
Nobody to break a hole in a wall of Blackgate and ask people to stand up and serve.
Yes, Joshua.
Jesus.
I can tell you missed
Really?
me.
All that for this?
I had to get it there. I had to get it there.
You were very excited by the Deathstroke video, CJ.
I was, because...
I was not seeing Deathstroke break any bats. Very disappointed. No one knew who I was until I put on the mask.
You weren't here, Josh. We didn't have this.
There was no Bane.
There was no Bane, Joshua.
There was no Bane.
CJ would never let me come out to play.
And we even talked
say.
about the Killing Joke, and I was like, well, surely Bane's going to show up in the Killing Joke conversations.
You see,
We're talking
CJ,
about the Joker.
I rely on theatricality and deception. I lured you into a false sense of security until I was ready to come out again.
I brought this upon myself, so I have no one but to blame.
You decided to make Cape Talk an every week occurrence. Now you have to deal with the consequences.
Well, I do, Bane, and I appreciate you stopping by, and I appreciate you coming on my favorite segment. Brian, take it away.
Cape Talk.
So, capitalizing on Pokemon Go, the end of this month, September 30th, Sphero is releasing something called the Force Band. And it is a wearable that has two functions. Number one, it's like by pushing your hand out and by using a Bluetooth connection, you can control this tiny little BB-8 toy, which is really fun. But this is something that's clearly marketed towards kids to go outside, and while your parents are playing Pokemon Go, essentially, you get these little sounds and beeps and notifications that there's something that you can interact with Star Wars with by using the Force, by pushing your hand out and detecting something, or pretending you have a lightsaber or a blaster. And then you find things on your smartphones like rewards and gadgets and Chewbacca cards. I mean, this thing is I don't even know what to make of this. Heads or tails, either whether I even care about this or whether this is the greatest thing and I'm just too stupid to understand it.
Let's first address the elephant in the room.
What?
No, you used it.
You're so nice to me on the other show.
Let's address this. If you're a kid and you don't choose to freaking wield a lightsaber, you are lame. And I'm putting that in very nicely. Who the hell chooses a blaster? That's just dumb.
White suburban kids who wear a vest. Josh, you seem to have an opinion on this that you're formulating in your brain. Do you like this thing? Do you not like this?
I'm trying to find. I think, at best, this is incredibly irresponsible. It's an irresponsible creation. It'd be irresponsible of any parent to put this on their child. And the stupid video shows teenagers wearing these. That's never
unaccompanied, by the way. Unaccompanied.
Well, I'm not worried about the teenagers. Here's my thing. This is not for teenagers. Are going to wear this.
Those hooligans do not care about this.
Kids, teenagers are going to run around with a pocket-sized BB-8, right? This is for. I'm looking at like 6 to 11 maximum. And you're basically encouraging them to go into strange places and find things on their own. That's what the stupid ass video shows. It's incredibly irresponsible.
So the band has 3 modes. One is
pedophile mode. Is it attract a pedophile mode?
Free candy mode.
Yeah, that's kind of. Is it get kidnapped mode?
So here are the 2 points for this that I just think put this into the realm
we're still
seriously.
selling pros and cons on this pedophile.
No pros and cons. I'm giving facts and then I'm all con. Don't worry. Just hear me out, okay? This is how they're advertising it. We can all just say this is all dumb. Okay. The 2 modes are to control the BB-8 doll that comes with it. One is called Force Training Mode, Combat Training Mode, and Force Awareness Mode, which are all, oh my god, you're going to get abducted mode, so stay away from those. And then here's the real part. What is the cost for having your kid wander into a place and then abducted? $79 for the band, and if you want the one with the BB-8, it's $200.
Get out of here.
That's the price.
Can think of
I take it back.
Things.
This is only for rich kids. Apparently, it's only for kids that live in a Brian palatial-sized estate and can roll their BB-8s around. This is for the guy in his mother's basement. That's who it's for. I'm redirecting my initial outrage and going, oh, it's not irresponsible. It's just stupid.
Right. If it was like $40, you could say, oh, they're trying to get every kid on the block. But for $80.
Right. At that point, it's forced indentured servitude mode.
Right, exactly. Which sounds about right. So anyway, stop trying to capitalize on Pokemon Go-like things. You can't do it. That was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Just stop, okay? It's not going to happen.
No, I think it can happen. Just not like this.
What's the next thing that could be like? What's the thing that should be here instead of this thing?
Listen, if I knew what the next thing would be, I'd be out there fucking making it and making gajillion dollars
on a podcast talking about exploding phones.
I wouldn't be sitting here alone in my palatial estate talking about freaking exploding phones and force fans.
With so few cats, you wouldn't even believe it. You just would.
Not a lot of cats.
The ratio of cats to males is very low.
Now, I will say this. The cats might be working on the next big Pokemon Go app. I'm not sure.
Hold on. Is it called Humans Go Away?
I don't know what it's called.
So there is a Kickstarter for a product called Signal, which apparently can't afford the extra letters because it's spelled SGNL. And what this is a band that you can attach to your smartwatch or just wear as a separate band. It has a Bluetooth connection, so when your phone rings, you just tap a button on it. And then, like, Brian, what was the movie where you put your finger to your ear?
Oh, the remake of Total Recall.
The remake of Total Recall. You put your finger to your ear, and then it actually picks up on the vibrations from the wristband, makes your ear your receiver, and then it has a microphone on the band itself.
So, Josh, you're actually going to do this.
Yeah, you do the little old school phone.
For those who do not have the video quality, I am holding my finger up to my mouth. My pinky is extended and my thumb is in my ear like an asshole.
like
is
everyone who's
stupid.
described a phone call since the beginning of time.
This is the stupidest thing I have ever seen.
Here's
For
the crazy thing.
$139, you can look like a hipster person playing Inspector Gadget.
You know what I'd rather have is a device like this that I could attach to my watch band or whatever. But instead of making my hand into the cool hand phone thing, it turns any place that I'm in that museum effect where I can stand and face one wall and someone else can stand and face the other wall, and we're not looking at each other and we're whispering, but we can hear each other.
You want a whispering wall? You want like a tube that goes around?
I would, you know what I'm talking, that auditory phenomenon, right? About with the architecture and it just carries.
Yeah.
I want something on my wrist that'll turn a room into that. That basically I can do that anywhere, and someone on the other side of the room, I'll just whisper shit to them and they'll have no idea what's happening. It's less about what's connected to my phone and more about I just want to screw with some people in a public place. But that's what this may be, like him standing there with this crazy, stupid, phone thing to his face. I think I'd rather just screw with people than try to answer a phone with my finger to my ear.
I'm just saying that, like, if this is, the future, I want to see the device that I can sync to my watch, which will then click with a can that's attached to a string. And then, Josh, you would have the other can. And we could talk to each other that
Like
way.
Bluetooth.
You know what
cans?
I don't want you to develop ways for me to talk without a device to my head like a crazy person. Here's what I want. I want, when I do put my device to my head to answer a call, I want like a reality
cone of
obstructor.
silence?
I just want like a helmet to come over my head,
Like Buzz
so that
Lightyear.
people can't see the faces I make when I talk. Because that's what you do when you're in public and you answer your phone. You put your device to your head. You try to just be the calmest, just even keel. I don't want to react to this fucking call at all. But that's not how I am. Like I'm
see Josh to watch Josh on a phone call. By the way, especially from afar, it's almost like a game you would play in Whose Line Is It Anyway? Josh's head goes back and forth, left and right. A hand gesture doing some kind of signal, either a come on over, rolling over, like what are you trying to do? And you go in small circles, or the no gesture, or of course the bobbing up and down and having the head do, having your hand make the gesture of a car on hydraulics.
Look, I am a
Those are the hand gestures that Josh uses when he's on
I
the
am a
phone.
demonstrative speaker. It doesn't matter if I'm on the phone or if I'm in front of you. There will be hand gestures. And
Yes.
I can't, it's hard for me to do that when I answer a call in public. So what I want is, you know what I want? As soon as I answer the call, Harry's invisibility cloak just wraps around me, and then I can do whatever I want.
My favorite thing about this, and Josh, you're in the business world more than Brian are on the day-to-day operations. A guy is in a meeting, gives the hold on 1 second, I have a phone call gesture.
Let me put my finger in
puts
my
his
ear.
finger to his ear and then starts having a conversation. Would you not look at that and be like, this guy's fucking crazy?
Why is he talking into his thumb?
The thoughts that come to mind are either this guy needs a tinfoil hat, or this guy is like Secret Service. I need to get the hell out of here. He's
Talking into his wrist.
Like I got him. Blue team go. Blue team go.
It's one of two things you have. What a fucking nutballer. He deserves my respect. And there's no gray
There's no
area.
middle ground. There's no middle ground with that.
I still think it'd be better if I just disappeared
Do you know what, though?
altogether.
Do you know what, Josh? This is still better than your phone exploding while you're on the phone. So, hey, at least it's got that going
That's
for
true.
it.
That's true. Don't charge your phone while you use it. People.
Yeah, please don't. Anyway, those were just two ridiculous things that I found on the internet that were gadget related, where it really makes me question. And I'm a guy who loves stupid gadgets. Okay, I like the pizza ATM. Stop making this stuff. All right, just you're done.
Wait. When you guys talked about the pizza ATM, CJ made it sound like they put the toppings on, and clearly that's not what happened.
No, clearly. CJ made it sound like there was
no,
a little elf in the
CJ.
ATM.
Chefs, whatever chefs they hire, pre-make all these pizzas,
Thank you.
and then they're available just like loading a machine. You only have so many Mountain Dews in there. When the Mountain Dews are gone, there's no more. There's not a little tiny chef in there making the pizzas.
I looked at one from Europe and not the one that's actually in America. So
Oh, the sweeter European pizza makers actually have tiny chefs.
They actually have tiny chefs inside, little robot like Wall-E things that make you pizzas.
Tiny chefs and sidewalks that will tell you you're an idiot because you can't look up from your phone.
The sidewalks will tell you that you're texting.
Yeah, don't die, sidewalks.
My point is, out of this past like 6 little, this might be a cool device thing you brought up, the only one that was worth anything was the Foldy Mate.
The Foldy Mate is worth
the rest
everything.
of it is garbage.
That's why now I'm only pulling gadgets that we just need to mock. Because
I'm
anything that I love
if I
is
recall
not good.
correctly,
And anything that I want to mock obviously is awesome. So therefore, I'm going for things that I know we should mock.
if I recall correctly, you thought we were all going to mock the Foldy Mate, and me and Josh were like,
Yes.
this is the best
It
thing
was
ever.
the best thing ever.
Right. That's why I change my gut reaction now for every gadget. Everything I'm like, this is really cool. You hold your finger to them. Like, no, that's stupid because I think it's cool. Ergo, let's hate it. And then the Foldy Mate of like, this is ridiculous. No one's going to have a device that folds their laundry. Oh, wait, no. Change your opinion. Everyone's going to love that.
If
So
you could
that's
do that,
now the
if you
opinion.
could do that with movies now, we'd be a lot better off.
It took 71 episodes for me to realize that I'm always in the wrong and I should just trust what you guys think. It took 71
Let's
episodes.
go the opposite direction. You're fine.
Just the opposite
71
direction.
episodes
now.
and 5 years of knowing each other.
Hey, listen,
Took way too freaking
progress.
long.
That's progress, slowly but surely. Okay, we've got it. So, if I may shift gears for a little bit, Brian, you showed this to me. There is a trailer for the Amazon series The Tick.
Well, it's part of pilot season.
It is part of
Yes.
Amazon pilot season.
It's already on. You can watch it.
Did you actually watch it yet, Josh?
No, my brother-in-law Eric is watching it. He said he liked it. So I haven't gotten there yet. I'm finishing up things. Plus, Civil War was available at midnight last night, so I was up until 2:30 watching Civil War, and then I watched it part of it again this morning. So it's just I got other stuff going on. I want to watch pilot season. I'm getting it.
So, Brian, there's a lot of people who are playing the home game who have no idea what the hell The Tick is. Can you educate a few people?
So the Tick is a character that was created in 1986 by a guy named Ben Edlund. And really, he's been this kind of satire of just superheroes and comic books in general. They started off as a comic strip in the 80s, which then turned into a popular cartoon series in the early 90s, like 1994.
That was Fox, right?
That was Fox. That was Fox. And the Tick is just this big buffoon. He's just, constantly doing things that he thinks is right, not necessarily smart, but he's invulnerable, so he doesn't have to think about consequences. And he's partnered up with Arthur, who's this guy who's always he's just a normal guy, so he's the one trying to not die. And it was a hilarious cartoon. It was a great comic book. I watched and
wasn't there a live action sitcom of this?
In the late 90s, they did a very short-lived live action show on Fox in 2001.
Two
I'm sorry.
Seasons? 1 or 2 seasons?
One season starring Patrick Warburton, who people know as Putty from Seinfeld or Joe from Family Guy, which I loved, which was fantastic. It only ran, I don't even think it ran a full season, maybe 18 or 20 episodes before it got canned. So they're talking about bringing this back now. And it is one of the shows in Amazon Prime's pilot season, which if you don't know what Amazon Prime's pilot season is, they pretty much get a couple series together. They make one first premiere episode. You guys get to, us as the viewers and as Prime subscribers get to watch it and then vote on whether or not they kind of continue on with that.
One of them made it from last season.
Which one made it from last season? Do you remember?
Tig Notaro's One Mississippi.
Okay. This year, it's The Tick, I Love Dick, that stars Kevin Bacon, and Jean-Claude Van Johnson, which stars
Jean-Claude Van Damme. That looks pretty funny.
It does.
Actually.
It does. I did not get a chance to watch I Love Dick or Jean-Claude Van Johnson. I only watched The Tick. And I thought it was pretty hilarious. I really enjoyed it. The neat thing about this show is that because it's a satire on kind of the current state of superhero movies and TV shows and everything. They took this dark and gritty approach with it almost, and kind of more this tongue-in-cheek humor.
No, CJ, if you didn't watch it, I saw a scene or two. It looked like Daredevil.
It does.
The cinematographer from The Dark Knight directed the pilot, so
It
you know it's a
purposely-
guy
yeah.
who knows this.
It purposely does that. But here's the best part about that show. Like, that I watched that first episode, I was like, this is really dark. And then the Tick shows up, and he's so funny. He's so ridiculous. He's played by Peter Serafinowicz. And I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that name right. So I'm sorry if I completely butchered it.
I'm guessing it's Serafinovich.
Serafinovich? Sure. Peter
That's what it looks like to me.
Peter S. And the moment he gets on screen, he does this voice, which is clearly not his voice.
Well, you know him. Daenerys Saul from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's Shaun of the Day. He's been in everything.
Right. He's done a
Darth
bunch of
Maul,
stuff.
right?
He's done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But he's got this voice and this demeanor. He's got the demeanor of the 66 Batman, who's like, there's evildoers over there. We have to stop them. Like, he's doing this voice, and it's hilarious. And it's kind of like this really cool, bright kind of center around this dark and gritty world. I loved it. I think, I'm hoping it gets picked up for the entire season. I'll definitely vote for it. If you guys are a fan of superhero genre and like that kind of comedy, definitely check it out. All you need now, you don't even need to pay $100 for Amazon Prime. You just need to do the $8 a month subscription, and you have access to the entire pilot season genre. So I would definitely check it out.
I just need to, and I wholeheartedly agree with everything Brian said.
Woo!
I will say this as well. If you say, no, I don't want to pay $100 for Amazon Prime. I'm going to pay $8 a month instead. That's $96. Just subscribe to Amazon Prime for the love of God.
For the extra $3, you get the 2 days shipping.
If you need further proof, go read Josh's article, Take Back Your Time, and you realize that you need Amazon Prime in your life. So just go ahead and do that. Also, we are not getting paid for Amazon Prime stuff. So Amazon, if you want to throw a few bucks, we'll gladly take it. I'm just saying. We've done a bunch. So speaking of things
you're like that scene in Rick and Morty. Tell me you know which scene I'm talking about.
Yes.
Josh, there's a scene in Rick and Morty where the main character, Rick, jumps in to the home. He's like,
you guys, we gotta hurry. I just got back from Walmart. They're selling Nintendo 3DS systems for $149.99 on sale. Plus, every time you buy one, you get a $50 gift card. Brings the total price down to $110 after tax. And we also all get to keep one, and we can play Nintendo games. Nintendo, give me free stuff.
It's great. And that's what CJ just did.
All right. So I'd like to move on to another topic that has to do a little bit with some television and some wonderful things coming to it. And let me read you a quick 2-sentence thought about the show that we're talking about. He can do a lot of things with just a sheet of tinfoil, like stop an airplane from taking off. He's MacGyver, damn it, and he's coming back to television this fall because there is a remake of MacGyver that's coming back to CBS. Starring Lucas Till, who is from X-Men First Class.
Yep.
He played Havoc. And I can't believe this September 23rd, MacGyver's coming back. And you know what? Doesn't look like
it doesn't look
pretty
terrible.
Good. It doesn't look bad. It actually looks really good.
It looks like it's going to be entertaining as hell.
I was very surprised by the fact that I was not on media what the hell is this?
Well, look, the original MacGyver had 8 seasons, right?
From all the fans, it felt like it's still on the air. People
7 seasons.
Still hold it with reverence.
7 seasons, and it has a pretty ridiculous cult following. MacGyver does.
Extremely ridiculous.
Right, but I mean, here's the shows, although campy, were entertaining. I didn't watch a ton of it because I was, too young, I guess, to get it. But this trailer for the new one looks phenomenal. It looks like it's pretty well done.
Yeah, it looks like that was made with care by fans who are actually, thinking about bringing the show back. I'm pleasantly surprised with this, and the fact that I have CBS All Access means I'm going to watch it and enjoy it, and I'm definitely going to see it.
This redeems that actor for wasting his time on monster trucks.
I don't know what movie you're referring to that never happened.
you didn't see the trailer about the trucks?
I saw the trailer. We
with
talked
the
about it.
monsters
And
that
we
live inside
we
it.
did.
They're
Yeah,
monster
so-
trucks, CJ. Monster trucks.
Yeah. No, it was awful. Awful. Do we know anybody else in this show? Does any other
The guy
name
from
mean
CSI
anything?
is in it, dude.
Oh, that's right. That's George Eads, right?
Yes, George Eads. Yeah. Look, everybody knows Stokes.
That's what it
Everybody
is.
knows who Stokes is. You know what's funny is that there was a immediately when I saw this trailer, I saw Stokes. I was excited to see Stokes, except I immediately likened his character to Elliot Spencer from Leverage.
Oh, yes.
So immediately I went, they stole this character directly from, what is it, TNT or whatever,
Yes,
wherever
TNT.
Leverage
it's
is.
TNT.
And I was a fan of Leverage. There's only 5 seasons, but it was
That's
a great show.
It's an underrated show, yes.
And Elliot Spencer, the character, the muscle character, was, I thought, particularly good. And we've seen the Christian Kane that played him has been in a few other things, but that's exactly like Nick. I like George Eads. I like the fact that he's recognizable, and I think he adds a lot of credibility to the cast automatically.
I've never seen Leverage. So you know what I thought when I first saw this trailer? And I saw that kind of dynamic. He's like the muscle guy who's like there to protect him type of thing. I thought this was like Johnny Quest, but with MacGyver. MacGyver's Johnny and Ease is Race Bannon.
Okay.
No, acceptable analogy.
I know. That's why I said it.
Can't just say thank you, CJ. It is. You can't just say thank you.
No, why the hell would I say thank you?
So MacGyver, it's a CBS show that will be premiering at the end of this month, September 23rd. I would actually say tune into CBS for something besides The Big Bang Theory. Lost Supergirl, so they got 2 things going for them now in the nerdy realm. I will say there's one thing that this show confirmed outside of the world of
Whoa.
CBS. What?
Has at least 6 versions of NCIS for you to enjoy. You got Gibbs, you got New Orleans, you got DC, you got Gibbs builds a boat. I mean, it's great.
Look, the original, I mean, Law and Order was the original format, right? The original spin-off craziness.
The one that had the spin-off of spin-offs of spin-offs? Yes.
Well, I mean, Law and Order, but Law and Order had several very successful
Yes.
spin-offs.
Then CSI.
There is nothing better than the original, but New York comes close.
Yes, I agree with you.
Miami
is a
does
piece of
not.
dog shit. No,
But
he's
you
a-
gotta love that David Caruso
except for I'm just saying, except
taking
for all
off the
Carusoisms.
sunglasses just to put him back on, and you get the Roger Daltrey intro with the craziness, and that's fun. But the rest of the show is awful. I don't have a problem with any of what goes into making these shows, and CBS has made a living off of this crap. But they make good shows, and I hope MacGyver gives us that bit of action and suspense that we're used to getting from these kind of shows. But also, I think there's the opportunity to throw a lot of humor into this series.
Here's the final topic.
It's the final topic.
There was an article that floated on the internet. It was actually on Wired that I sent over to Brian as well to kind of talk about a little of the gaming world, which we've been neglecting recently, and we're sorry for that. And we will eventually get back on track with some gaming news and some gaming conversations. But Brian and I, and Josh, I hope you got to read this piece as well. We're in an opinion that's kind of shared with this author that, hey, it may be time to stop pre-ordering video games. Originally, when you pre-ordered a video game, it was all about just getting a copy of it. It was just actually making sure that a store had a copy. And now that we've moved to digital downloads and the fact that games are so easy to find in 19 different places, the availability part is no longer really important. And if in the last couple months, 2 high-profile games have kind of taken a lot of flack that had to do with some of the pre-order business, and that was No Man's Sky and then it was Deus Ex.
I'm sorry. I hear No Man's Sky and I hear utter failure. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's one of those things where now and for the last couple of years, the promises of downloadable content and exclusive items have been the big draw to that, only to have those items become public and to have them maybe be of no real consequence. And when it comes to Deus Ex, the items that you got that were advertised as high-profile, amazing items were one-time uses.
Single use, yeah.
Single use, and then you had to do like an in-app purchase like you would in Clash of Clans to buy it again. So it was available to the general public.
I've been saying this. I mean, we launched this podcast, I think, April of 2015, right?
We did, yep.
I've been saying this, probably since episode 2 or 3. Games should be app-based, in-app purchasing. They should be completely, nearly cost-free. Because who buys a disc anymore? I mean, I know I don't. If I want a game, I download it. So
I buy discs, but I'm the weirdo.
Console
I normally
games,
buy discs too.
Console, I go to the store, I find what I want, I download it. And it doesn't seem to me like there's any reason to buy a disc. Also, I just still with the price of the games, just maybe don't make it 20 gigs worth of content. Trim it down and sell it for $5 and then let people choose how much of the game they purchase beyond. And I do believe the industry would be pleasantly surprised by the amount of money people spend just based on the fact that people are still spending tons of money on Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I mean, you spent $100 on the air with us when we were talking about Pokemon
in the
Go.
moment, yes, $100, yes,
like
absolutely.
A total, just like, well, I did the math and I should just buy $100. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you just made that decision like 2.5 minutes. So I can see that. But the article comes, and I'm going to include the link in the show notes, and I really think you should read the article because it has some really great points to it. You're investing money into a game already that things, I mean, Brian, let's talk about No Man's Sky, right? You said failure. Why do you say that game is a failure?
I mean, not just because of the extreme lack of everything. That game had a lot of issues right from launch. Glitches, things that were promised that weren't working. Everything I read about it was just what a huge disappointment. And to the point where Steam and PlayStation Network were giving refunds no matter how much of the game you played, like 2 months after it's been released. That's how players utterly disappointing it was.
There were players who played the game for 50 hours and got refunds for the game. And the article really goes to 2 points. Again, number one, a pre-order was initially made to get a copy of the game, and now with digital downloads, we don't need that anymore. So eliminate that barrier.
Yeah, back in the day when I was pre-ordering games was the days of like PS2 when you had no choice but to get it by disc. There wasn't these like online networks.
Right.
And you weren't guaranteed a copy of the game. If you went to your local GameStop on launch day and they were out, and then you went
EB Games back then,
right? And then you went to the EB Games, and then you went to the Target and the Walmart, and they were all out. You were screwed, and you couldn't play that game. So if it was something that you had researched, you were reading articles, you were excited, you really wanted to play it, you were willing to spend $50 on it, you went and you freaking pre-ordered it a couple months in advance to make sure you got your copy. There's no point to that anymore for the exact reason that Josh just said. If it's out, I'll just download it.
And the second part to that too was there weren't any patches or updates or downloadable content. So when you paid $60 for a game, you got the full game.
It wasn't network connected back
right.
then.
So, but I mean, so when you slap down $60, you got the full thing, and it wasn't slap down $60 and also get the season pass, which is another $45, and then we'll give you the rest of the game kind of thing.
Right.
It was there. The second part is this, is that the item, and I said this before, the items and the exclusive stuff, sometimes they fall through. They either don't work or they don't come. And you're basically asked to invest in a game before it's finished, before you get to see any of the real gameplay or read any reviews. And we live in a world now where you need to just, to make sure that you do some better research once it's out. And the only time you should really pre-order a game is when you're super passionate about it, but there's kind of a proven record for it. And No Man's Sky is a great example of things that seemed great, seemed to be a lot of hype. Sony was going hard on that game, and a lot of fans were left disappointed. So I'm sorry, gaming brethren, but I believe it's time that we recognize that there's a fault within the gaming industry and that this is a broken model, and it's time to move on. It's time to find something that works better for the consumers. And I hate to say this, Josh, I think you're absolutely right. Although I hate in-app purchases and things like that, I think that would be a much better model for video gaming. And believe me, I don't want that to be so. I would just like to pay one flat fee and just be done with it forever and get all the DLC for free. But,
Right, but
I don't
you're
want
not-
artists. I don't want artists to work for nothing, so they deserve to get paid.
Well, not only that, but gaming hasn't been at that place for quite some time. The days of buying a disc and having that disc contain all of the games start to finish, that ended as soon as consoles connected to the network, connected to the internet to download updates. That ended,
It
right?
it really depends on the game, though. Like, I think your model works for, well, hear me out. I think your model works for games like Call of Duty and Halo and Madden and things like that. Because then, like, I'm going to try and use a sports analogy. You purchase Madden for a low price. You can then do in-app purchases for certain rosters and players and teams and things like that. That makes sense.
Okay.
Call of Duty, same thing. You purchase
Right.
certain maps and
maps,
skins
weapons,
and things like
right,
that.
Right.
Games like mostly like platformers, like Uncharted, Batman Arkham Knight, the Lego games, that model does not work for those.
Why? Wait. Why couldn't you have a truncated map and a truncated list of missions and then buy more? Consider Arkham Knight or any of those games a bit like Grand Theft Auto in the way that you don't have to do every mission. You choose what you do and what you don't do. And that's kind of the same
There's still
thing.
the main story, though, you still get a solid 6 hours.
You can streamline the story, Brian. It's all about decisions and what direction you go. Like, I mean, not every story is. I understand not every story is linear, but at the core, there's a main character, a main storyline. Right? There's an arc. In everything you can follow that. Right? There's always ancillary stuff going on, but that's all. You can purchase that if you want the additional story. What I'm saying is, take any format you want, any kind of game, any style, and you can bucket it out into different pieces and then charge for those pieces.
And to Brian, to the other side of that too, you look at things like Borderland, the Game of Thrones series, the Walking Dead games, which are done in chapters.
Those are Telltales. You can't do Telltales. That's a completely different format.
But that model's proven to work.
It's a completely different model.
Yeah,
it's
but
not a
it is a different model. It's not a platform game. It's not something that happens, like Brian said, he sort of start to finish and it's a big story.
Gotcha.
What
Okay.
I'm saying
Point taken.
is, it's right. You find, and I'm clearly I don't write video games, but the people that do design these storylines, you can stick to a main storyline and then build additional content off of that. I kind of feel that's how stories are written anyway. And in doing that, it wouldn't be hard to allow gamers to pick and choose. Brian, there's not a whole lot of people. I don't think it's a large percentage that demand the full experience. I want to see 100% done on every game.
No, I'm not even like that. The last game I did that with was Arkham Knight.
Right, but that's kind of my point then, is if you didn't have to spend $60 on every game, if you spent $5 on every game, you might invest $300 in a single game because it's worth it to you. And
I agree.
That's how I believe the industry should operate and how games should be measured.
Because then the other games, you're only spending $5 some. It's even. I mean, a game is $60 a pop, $300 at just a few games. I mean,
Right.
you get the best bang for the buck.
You're going to spend, the industry's going to get the money either way. But the great thing is that the really, really great games and the ones that put the effort in are the ones that are going to get paid, not the ones who do the best on the Twitter machine.
Right. And
that's, I think, what No Man's Sky did. They went crazy media blitz. I remember you guys talking about that game with Jeff.
I wanted to buy a PlayStation just to play that
I
game.
remember you guys talking about it, and I thought,
I would have done it.
I wonder if this game can live up to the hype. And it didn't. But they did an amazing job hyping it up. And you know what? They got their money.
They did.
And then they refunded
you know what?
a lot of it.
It doesn't matter. They didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
True.
Here's the thing: we made a joke earlier that we're not making gadgets and we're not making the next Pokemon Go, but here we are redefining the whole gaming industry. So go us!
Anybody's gonna listen to this. They're just gonna
no
go, who are
one's
these
going to pay
assholes?
attention to this.
Listen,
You're like,
if
hey,
you get-
I was listening, like freaking somebody from Ubisoft was like, I was listening to some three
Poor
Yahoos
people.
record a podcast and they had a really good idea.
Wait a minute, we're Yahoos?
I think it's a good idea. I just don't think we quite hold enough clout to
I
get it.
agree. And I'm just making a
CJ,
joke.
only Josh and I are Yahoos. You're not a Yahoo.
When my daughter was a toddler, CJ, when Zoe was a toddler, she would assign nonsensical names or words to groups of people. And in every group, she would deliberately call one person a different thing. So she would say, you're a Bobby, you're a Bobby, you're a Bobby, you're a Dodie. And she would walk away. And that
completely
one,
messed with your mind.
everyone, it didn't matter. And we're not just talking about kids, we're talking about adults.
Right.
And everybody's wondering what exactly made that person different. And my daughter, who's a toddler, she's fucked off into another room. She's gone. But there's a group of adults sitting at a table going, why am I the asshole? Like, what makes me so bad? Is it because she likes him better? Or is it? And I'm going, I love girl. But that's what just happened just now.
Well, I see where my life is. At least my
You're the
daughter doesn't make.
Slagathor.
I am the Slagathor.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna get a shirt that says "I'm the Slagathor."
Either
now.
that or I'm
What's
just going to
happening?
start calling you Dodie.
There you go.
All right. Well, before this episode ends, I do want to take an opportunity just to say one fantastic thing that we need your help with, and that's a little bit of support. So there's a couple ways that you can support us as a show. The first thing is you can go check out the wonderful fine people over at Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a monthly mystery box which gives you geek and gamer gear, and it's stuffed to the gills of other great things that you want, like t-shirts, statues, and other fantastic things. This month's theme is speed, which includes things from Gone in 60 Seconds, Flash, and what was the other?
Batman, Arkham Knight, Arrow.
So there's franchises that you will love and adore. You have until the 19th of every month to get the box, and then it's gone forever. So get some savings. Go to our website, thatkindofnerd.com/loot. That's LOOT. And you can actually get a coupon to get $3 off your first Loot Crate. So it's actually $13 to go ahead and take advantage of that. So go on, save some money, get yourself a box, and help support the show.
Absolutely, fans. Listen to Dodie when I say that I got this past Loot Crate, and when Slagathor says it's really amazing, I got this awesome Hellboy fist ceramic bank that is just awesome. It has all of my change in it now, as well as an Archer t-shirt, some Kill Bill socks that I will actually wear. I don't
Those are
normally
pretty dope.
Don't
Yep.
normally up my sock game, but for Kill Bill I will. So definitely take Dodie's advice. Sign up for Loot Crate. It's
The
amazing.
DX box, CJ, this month for Anti-Hero was the coolest box I've ever seen. And in my opinion, easily over $100 worth of stuff in there. Very cool box.
I am a huge fan of Gone in 60 Seconds, and I think I'm going to go DX for this.
Oh yeah,
one.
Dodie.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
go DX.
that's probably my favorite Nicolas Cage role.
The other thing that we can do to get your support is to get some ratings on iTunes. That'll pull us up in the charts, and then that way we can get more listeners and more fans onto the show who can stick around with two Yahoos and a Dodie or Slagathor, whatever I am right now, that will just hear us talk about nerdy things. So please give us a 5-star review. We do read them on the air as we've been doing, so we appreciate your feedback, and we appreciate you sharing the podcast with friends. Also, check out our other show, Hey Did You See? We're talking about BBC Sherlock, and right now there's a poll on our Twitter feed at Hey Did You See? Where you can decide what the next show that we're going to watch is. Right now it's between Stranger Things, Luke Cage, Preacher, and Westworld. So please vote, and that'll decide the next topic that we have for the show. So I want to thank Josh and Brian for joining me, and thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work, and we will see you guys next week.
I'm not your dancing monkey, CJ. You can't just make me do shit.
Are you reading a book? And Brian's like licking his finger and turning pages. What's happening?
CJ, do not lie to the viewers. You do not appreciate my presence. But everyone else does.
I say you he did.
I told you he did.
I say you, he dead.